Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first video, hi, I'm Alaina, and this is The Organized Money, where we talk about planning life and managing money. In today's video, we are going to be setting up my planner for the month of November, and I'm going to be walking you through how I'm planning on using it for 2026. I have already set up this planner in the past. However, I did make a couple of changes to it, so I do want to talk through those changes and talk to you about the listing for this planner if you're interested in picking this one up. So first things first, this is my Tom 90 planner. It is a 3-month system where I have 3 months of 5 different planners within this one book. I usually will take this planner every single place that I go. I will throw it in my bag and pull it out whenever I need it. But I currently have on here my black croc cover, and I have the gold disc on the side, and as soon as you open it up, you do see my cover, which I did switch it up for 2026. It says one book to organize your life, and then I just have my Tom 90 planner down here, which lets you know that it is a 90-day planner. After I move past my cover, I do have my table of contents, which you can order the table of contents if you're interested, and also add in the different things that you have laid out in your planner. So I currently have 5 planners within my system. So these are the 5 planners that I am currently using. I also have inserts in here as well, but I don't usually add my inserts to my table of contents. I will usually only have the planners that I have within my setup. So we're going to walk through all 5 of these planners, but I currently have my schedule planner in here, to do, faith, budget, and a social media planner. The very first one in my system is my weekly hourly planner, which I use as my schedule planner. So this planner is really my catch-all planner. I have my goals on the very front page here, which is where I will list out 5 goals. I have a spiritual goal, a relational goal, mental, physical, and financial. I will write them all here. I might break them down even further in other planners, but this is where I will list out the overview of what I would like to do for the month. After this, I do have my monthly calendar, which I have just listed out what events I have for church, for personal, for work, because like I said, this is my overview planner. I will have more details in other planners, but I do like to have one spot where I can easily glance and see what's going on for the month. So this is what the month of October looked like, and then we go into the weeks. So the weeks is where I just kind of structure out my day. This is where I will time block my schedule. I'm looking at all of my appointments. This has been working out really well for me so that I can kind of map out exactly how the days need to go throughout the entire month. And this was the last week of this month. And this planner has definitely been one of my favorites. And I am just going to switch out and add in the month of November into this planner and pull out October and add it back into my weekly hourly planner. We are ready to set up my schedule for the month of November. The next planner that I have in here that has really been working for my system is my to-do planner. So my to-do planner is a vertical planner where I will list out all of my to-dos. This is the spot where I'm really brain dumping and just thinking through everything. So I do have on my overview page just some highlighted things that I wanted to get done this particular month. I had some Christmas planning on here, end of year planning, monthly finances that I need to do, meetings that I needed to schedule, some things I needed to schedule for the month of October, and so that's on there. And then for my monthly calendar, this is where I will map out my to-dos. Now, mainly on this one, I am going to be using it for my personal things, like the highlighted personal things that I really wanted to get done. So like dinner, planning things with my family, it's going to be on this planner. In the past, I have also used this to plan out social media, but I did add back my social media planner into this one. So now this one will mainly be for personal to-dos. So big things that I know are coming up and I need to plan in a little bit more detail. So that is how I'm going to use my monthly calendar, and the weeks will remain the same. This is the space where I am brain dumping, just putting all of the things that are coming up to my head. So any ideas that I might have, any things that kind of pop up, any to-dos, they all go within this planner. This was the 3rd week, and here is the last week. I really am loving this planner. Definitely one of my favorites to kind of clear my mind. So we are going to pull out the month of October, and we are going to add in the month of November. The next planner I have in here is my faith planner. So my faith planner is where I will mainly do my Bible studies and just different things that I am currently learning about from church or just in my personal study time. The very first page here is where I put what we were going to be talking about in our women's Bible studies. So this month we did how to prepare for what God has planned. I started working on it here because I was just kind of taking down some notes. And then I finished it up on my actual computer so that I could prepare my notes there. But this is what the overview page looked like. And then we have my monthly page is where I will write my verse of the day. So I will write down the verse of the day from the YouVersion Bible app every single day. I did have a water spill earlier this month, but I still was able to use the page, so I did so. So I write down the verse of the day every single day, and then I will take my Bible study notes throughout the month. So this is where I am mainly keeping track of the different sermons that we are currently reading, any Bible studies that we're doing, or anything that I'm doing on my own personal studies. So this was of Bible study and sermons from Sunday. I did do a scripture study here, but this was the only one that I did this particular month. And I also have some additional notes in the back from different Bible studies that we were doing. So that's the entire month within my faith planner. And so I'm going to pull this one out and pop in a new month. Now I'm thinking this upcoming month, I'm going to select a word for the month, and I'm going to use that for my overview page in order to just decorate this front page. But I haven't decided what the word is going to be yet. So I'm going to keep thinking and praying on that. The next planner I have in here is my budget planner. So my budget, I really use my monthly calendar. This was the big thing that I used throughout the month. I was checking things off. I didn't use my paycheck budgets as much. I did use the monthly budget, but not the paycheck budget or the tracking of my expenses. I mainly did a lot of electronic tracking of my expenses this month. And I do that a lot when I get really busy and I just don't have time to write on these pages. And so we'll see what happens in the month of November. I feel like November and December, I may end up doing the same thing because the end of the year is always really hectic for me. And so it's really difficult for me to keep track of my expenses like I do throughout the rest of the year. Because you never know, and if I am able to really get back into it, I'm definitely going to do it. So we have these pages in for my budget planner, and the last planner that I have in here is a new one that I am just adding into my system. I did not use this in the month of October, but we are going to use it for the month of November, and that is my social media planner. So the reason why I decided to add this one back in is because I have a lot of things going on for church, and my to-do planner is where I will usually keep all of my to-dos. I will keep my to-dos for work and for church within this one. However, when I start to come up on a busy season, I will usually split the two. So in the month of November, I do my November Savings Challenge, and I am also preparing for Vlogmas. And Vlogmas is 25 videos that I am posting on a daily basis from December 1st through December 25th. And since that that is the case, I know I'm going to need to do a lot more planning than what I would normally do, because I won't be posting 1 or 2 videos a week. I'm going to be posting every single day for 25 days. And as I get prepared for that, I really need to map out my ideas, my structure, how I need to pre-film and get ready for these particular videos. And so that is why I pulled out my dashboard planner and put it in here for the month of November. So this is the monthly review page. This is where I'm going to write out all of my goals for social media for the month. And then I'm going to map out my social media plan on my monthly calendar. So this is where I'm going to write out what I'm posting to Instagram, to TikTok, to YouTube, to Facebook, wherever that space may be. I'm going to map it out here. And then on the dashboard spread is where I will list out all of my ideas, what's going to post to social media, and what's happening every single day of the week. So this is one of my favorite planners, even though I haven't had it in my system for quite some time, but I'm really excited to get back into it whenever my schedule gets really busy. This is one that I will always pull out for social media because it really helps me to break things down and really think through everything that's going to happen on social media and within my membership. But this is the last planner that I am going to be using within my setup for the month of October. This is what it looks like. It's the 12-month version, but if you decide to get the Tom 90 version, it just comes with 3 months of this particular planner. So these are the 5 planners that I currently have within my setup. And now let's talk about the inserts. So the inserts I have are at the bottom of my planner, and then I have one more that is the last tab on this planner. So the very first one I have in here is my daily sheets. So the daily sheets actually come as a planner if you decide to get them as a planner, or if you decide to get them within the Tom 90 system, I do have them as inserts. So the inserts are the ones that I use because I really don't need the monthly calendar part. I am using this in order to break down my day, in order to flesh it out a little bit more than I would be able to do on my weekly spread. So on my weekly spread, the time goes from 6 a.m. until 10 p.m. But on my daily spread, it goes from 6 a.m. until 3 a.m. So I have a lot more time that I can plan out if I need to. I also have my to-do section here. I have that I can break down what I am eating for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and a snack. And then I usually will use this notes section as well. Now, I only use this one time for the month of October, so we're going to keep this sheet in here because we still have a bunch of additional pages in here that I can use for the month of November. Like I said, they're inserts so they can roll over. Nothing in here is dated, so I can continue to use them. Next insert that I have in here is a new one that I am going to be adding into the Tom 90 system, or you can get them separately if you are interested, and that is my daily routine sheet. So this was not a part of my system originally. However, I did print this out for my daughter, and she used this within her planner consistently, and I shared it with you all, and a lot of you really did like this sheet. So I decided to add it in as an insert, something that you could pick up for yourself, or you could also get it as a planner for your kids. So my daughter really loves this sheet in order to plan out the different things that she has for school. She usually will keep track of her morning routine, her afternoon routine, and her evening routine, and then she write down the things that she has to do for school, and she will also add in a little motivation note to herself within this planner. So I shared it as a short, but I also decided to pop it in my planner as well so that I could see how I liked it within my system. So this is the second insert that I have within here, and it is going to be available a part of my Tom 90 system if you decide to pick it up. It will come with 3 months of all 5 of these planners and these inserts that I am currently showing you. So you get 20 of these sheets back and front, so you have 40 complete daily routine sheets. And then the next one is my meal planning sheets. So this is where I will map out what we're going to eat for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks, and you can plan out the entire week. I really do love these sheets because I also can add my grocery list on the back. So usually me and my husband will talk at the beginning of the week, and we will decide what we are eating for the week, and I will add it into my weekly meal plan, and then I am prepped and ready to go grocery shopping that week. So these sheets are in here, and so you also get 20 of these within the Tom 90 system. And then I have my future calendars. So the future calendar is these portrait style calendars that I keep as an insert because this planner is only a 3-month planner. And since you only get 3 months of all 5 of these planners, many times you need a spot to keep track of things that are coming up after those 3 months. So I will use these sheets in order to keep up with other things that's coming up in the upcoming months, and usually I will keep them throughout the rest of the year. So it's a great space for me to kind of map out everything that's coming up in the future. So we're definitely going to keep these in here. And the very last insert that I have in here, I actually have as a side tab, and that is my notes section. And that is just journal sheets that I have in here so I can keep up with any notes that I might want to write throughout the course of the month. I usually will keep them within my planner because sometimes I just need to keep the note for longer than a particular month. So that's why I have changed it from it being a planner. And so it's just a great insert that I am able to use throughout the month and keep for however long I need the note. So that is my setup for the month of November, and this is what my planner is going to look like for 2026. If you are interested in getting this planner, I will now have the download option and the printed option. So if you want to get 3 months of the 5 planners and the inserts, you can get it printed and mailed to you, or you can get the download option, and then that way you can print it at home, put it together, and you will have your setup that you need for 2026. So if you're interested in it, make sure that you check out the link in the description box, and I will see you all in my next video. Until then, keep organizing your life so that you can achieve your dreams. Bye guys.